another person. Because we are not just here for self, but we are here to be impacted so that you can also be a solution to another person. And you can only reach that if you are a therapist, first to yourself. And I believe we will be focusing on more of being a therapy to yourself. Because if you are a therapy to yourself, job productivity will not be a problem. Workload will not be a problem. All what we have to look at in this presentation will not be a problem. Because you are a therapist to yourself. You can identify unhealthy relationship and solve it by yourself. You either by withdrawing or just cutting it off. Are we together? So, you got my introduction. No need to tell anyone more about myself. And I thank this initiative because the way mental health is viewed, especially in our context of Cameroon, I always tell people that mental health is like a forest in the context of Cameroon. Like a black bush for some of us who have parents who are farmers. You know black bush now. You go there, you cut your own area, you start cultivating. That is the way mental health is in Cameroon. And little has been done on it. So the bush is still wide for us to all go in there and exploit. What are you planting? What are you cultivating in your own forest? You need to plant something that will make a difference. You need to plant something that will change lives. Are we together? So for us to proceed, I want us to first of all look at the definition of mental health. And from there now we'll see if us sitting here are healthy or we have mental problems. Just from the definition.
Let me come and look for one other person.
Who is controlling this thing, please? And I love the definition of mental health by WHO. And WHO put some four key components in the definition. And if you look at it keenly, you will be able to see if you are healthy or you have a problem. WHO says for you to be healthy mentally, you must be able to identify your abilities or your potentials. You sitting here, do you know your abilities? Do you know your potentials? Are you exploiting it? Or you are still searching who you are? If you are still searching, therefore, you are wandering mentally. Because at this age, you should be able to know that ability. That ability is something that you came out from your mother's womb with. A small seed that you now need to nurture for it to grow and you impact in your community. Are you reflecting on that your own ability? My ability is different from another person's ability. Because we are different. Even identical twins, they still have two different personalities. Are we together? Another key one, can cope with stresses of life. Life is full of challenges, is full of stressors. Stressors that are predictable and stressors that are unpredictable. Predictable stressors are things you know it will happen to you. All young girls growing, you believe that one day I will get married, I will be pregnant, I will give birth to a child, and the stress of fatherhood or motherhood will be on me. You are prepared with that. Are we together? But there are some stressors that you are not prepared in life, but they just come. The death of a loved one. And a critical illness that breaks a loved one of yours or yourself. These are unpredictable. You did not plan. So how do you manage them? WHO said you should be able to manage stressors, be it predictable or unpredictable. And if you cannot manage the stressors of life, therefore you are already a candidate of mental disorder. Another thing that WHO said, you should be able to work productively and fruitfully. And we are looking at mental health at the workplace. How do you now work productively and fruitfully when you have not identified your potentials? How do you now work productively and fruitfully when you have not get out with the stressors of life? That is why mental health at the workplace must be at the top of a priority. And the theme of this year was a very nice one. If we want to realize the goals of an organization, of an establishment, the mental health of the workers must be prioritized, as we can see from here. Another thing WHO also pointed, contribute to his or her community. Are you contributing to your community? Lifafa Foundation is contributing to the community, and you are part of the beneficiaries. What about you as a person? That is an organization, a foundation. You as a person should be able to contribute in your community. And if you are not contributing in your own way, therefore there is a problem. Are we together? Looking at mental health at the workplace is all about ensuring the emotional and social well-being of all employees. And who are those to do that? Who are those to handle the emotional state of the workers? All of us seated here, we are either in one place or the other, handling different assignments. Who is handling your mental state? Who is addressing issues? Some may be students seated here. You are still a worker. You are working with your books. And those books equally pose a problem that requires your mental health to be addressed. So who are those addressing those mental issues at the workplace? I talk about our own context of Cameroon. They are limited. Are we together? And that is why I think this conference is vital. Because we have many voices that will now go back to their respective workplaces to talk about mental health, to pass the message, to be solution to multitudes at their different job sites. Are we together? We will see that, as I earlier said, more than 60% of the world is at the work. These statistics are got from the World Employment and Social Outline for 2022. And all workers have the right to safe, healthy, and enabling environment. Who make the environment safe for the workers? Who make the environment healthy? Who make the environment enabling? We cannot talk of productivity when the environment has a problem. We cannot cannot talk of productivity in any company when there is a problem in the environment. There can never be innovations in such if not addressed. Therefore, it is very, very important to make every working environment healthy. And you will agree with me that work can protect the mental health of individuals. Just the assurance that I have a job, it makes you stable. Some will go to school, at the end they don't have a job. They also have issues. But you having that job, it gives you a livelihood and assurance for food on a daily basis, which causes you to even sleep and close your eyes. The job that you are doing even creates opportunities to link up with other people. As we are here, some people are recruited by this foundation and they are linking up with others. I sat there and I was getting the research grants that they have won. It is linked up. So being a worker is an important thing and it should be cherished by everyone. But there is a problem. There is a problem when the environment is not enabling as a worker. These are some factors that can lead to mental health. There are a lot of them, but these are just a few. And in our own context, we have job insecurity. When it comes to private sector, the employers think they have the knife and the yam in their hand. They can take it as they are giving you, and nothing will happen. Even you take them to labor, nothing will happen. They will use money that was supposed to be given to you as salary and pay their way out. These are some problems. These are some of the issues relating work in our own context that brings a lot of mental issues with many people. Some have committed suicide without being attended to because they just sacked them without any reason. Our context of job insecurity is the highest thing because there are few jobs from the government. So many people now depend on the private sector to earn a living. And going out to the private sector, there are no policies to protect the employees. Employers have rights, but those rights have been abused because they are autonomous and they believe they can do what they want to do with the employees. And this has caused a lot of mental issues among workers. Some have ended their life untimely. Even those that will not dismiss you, they put you on unbearable working conditions. Long working hours, no relaxation activities within. Even if you say, this is my break, let me take it and relax a bit, your boss will come and is imposing on things that you know you will achieve before the end of the day. That means you work for 8 hours continuously without rest, or for 12 hours continuously without rest, which is not healthy. The environment is not healthy. Are we together?
Yes.
Also looking at it, we will see that there is a lot of violence. There's a lot of harassment at the job site. Verbal, bullying. They can shout at you, wash you from head to toe, make you to see where you are coming from the hole in your Are we together? There are a lot of them. What are we not seeing? Discrimination. If this job is for this tribe, they look only for their tribe. And if you happen to come there, who is your godfather? Are you getting me? And since you are not working according to, or you are not, they gang up against you at a job site where they are supposed to speak a language that everybody understands. They speak the native language. So you that is not understanding that language, what happened with you? That's already, they are putting you in a mental state because you feel isolated, you feel rejected, you feel discriminated. And all these things are mental pointers, mental health pointers. There are a lot of them happening at the job site that we know.
You cannot miss the quality.
Are we together?
Which batch was on this one? So how do you do?
So you will play with me that mental health has really impacted the workplace negatively. And what I put on the board is based on WHO 2024 that about 12 billion working days are lost every year due to mental health. And secondly, more than $1 trillion US dollars is lost due to mental health. That's the level of the impact. And you will also bear with me that because of mental health, we will have low productivity. We cannot achieve the goals of the establishment or the goals of the company. You also bear with me because of mental issues. The individuals affected by it cannot be creative. They cannot be innovative into addictions. They are looking for things. Let me take this. I'll become bold. I'll be able to talk to my boss. I'll dress him. It's too much. You get it? So what do they now? They go look for an external energy to be able to face, which is another contributing factor to mental health. And that has led, you see, employees getting drunk at work. Why? They take drugs at work time. Why? They want to gain energy. Because the energy is drained somehow. They want to gain another energy in order to fail again. Another thing, you know, there is a connection between the mind and the body. We call the body-mind connection. If your mind is not okay, your physical body will equally be affected. That's the reason why some people go to the hospital. They're having palpitation, for example. They check their blood pressure. It may be high. But now what is causing the blood pressure to be high? It's unknown. Because the mind has affected the body. Some stroke. Some just slump and go. Mental health has really impacted individuals and even companies. And those who think they have the companies and they can control the people to work for them, they are instead destroying it. They don't know it. If they now nurture the people to work, bring out the best out of them, their company will grow. Their company will grow for sure. I want us to look at this. I call it a feeling wheel. And you will look at the different colors and what is it gives. Look from fear and read what comes out of fear. If, for example, you go the workplace has posed each time, oh my God, I'm going there again. You get it? I'm going to that place again. That hell. But you have to go there, because at the end of the month you expect something. Look at how you will end up. You end up being anxious. You take another one that way. Then see this and the outcome of it. Each and every one of you, you need to cultivate this. And I will tell you here, you don't depend on external forces to develop that joy. It should come from within. You develop that joy within. You will look at it as small, but that is the mastermind of your mind. And it should come from within. When you depend on external forces to make you happy, you depend on your boss to appreciate you, for you to know you are doing well. You are failing. You have missed it. You need to be able to appreciate yourself, love yourself, do the things that make you happy. Remember, we are living in a world that is full of challenges, full of problems, full of calamities on a daily basis that weigh each and every one of us down. But as an individual, you must develop this attitude for self-happiness. You must create your own happiness, because that is when your full potentials can expand. That is when who God created you to be can be seen by others. Are we together? So I also put this one, and I call it your mental health daily check. Each day, you come back from work, you come back from school, it is time for you to have a reflection on some things. Did I eat well? Was I relaxed? Did you ask yourself questions to find that happiness in you? You must be able to check if your mind was okay. If you discover that you went through the day without food and you were not fasting, it's a problem. If you discover that you went through the day without drinking water, which WHO said you should drink at least 3 liters of water, then there is a problem. You check in the morning, did I sleep well? I keep quoting WHO because I think that's should be our standard. WHO said we should sleep at least 8 hours. Do you have enough rest? And if you do not sleep, what happened? That you were up, staring the ceiling, or checking on your phone, over and over and over. What was in your mind? What was playing in you that you could not sleep and you had to look for distractors that will help you go to bed? It's a pointer. So each day you go through this check to see if you are mentally healthy. Are we together? So how do we now mitigate this mental health? I keep pointing WHO. We recommend that employers implement organizational interventions that directly target working conditions and the environment. That all employers need to address the working conditions of the employees and address their environment. There should be a canteen that somebody can go there and relax and chill, take cold water, you eat something. That is the meaning of an enabling working environment. I'm not the one saying it. It's WHO. Are we together? Organizations should also do what? Assess issues that are related to mental health at the workplace. Mitigate it. And how do you mitigate it? we have seen the risk factors above. If you have placed your workers on long working hours without rest, address it. If you are the authoritarian boss, then you dictate what they do, you change. And I believe every establishment should have what they call the human resource management system. And these human resource managers should be trained on mental health issues so that they will be able to address the mental problems of the workers. You will hear it, I'm a human resource manager. What are you doing? What are you doing? They instead put the workers on unbearable conditions. Because you are not doing what they say you must put your thumb, you enter, you thumb out. If you don't, they cut your salary. That's their role. That is all they do, to monitor the work. But for me and what I think, if you want your employees to give you an output which is good, relax their condition. Allow them to excel and watch the output. I may come early and put my finger and enter the company. Inside the company, I'm not working. So at the end of it, I'm not productive. They cause people to fake. You are there physically, but your mind is in your house. Your mind is somewhere else. But you are just there because of the salary. If not, you will not be paid or they will slide your salary. Are we together? So, WHO also requests that there should be some modification at the job site to make the workers more relaxed. They can create even some time off that they take workers. That's why they say Labor Day. They are not trying to impose those kind of things now on the employees. But that's not how it's supposed to be. As a good employer, you should even create a day in a month that you take your staff out. You can even ask them to even give 1,000, then you top it up and they will willingly contribute. Because they are going to chill, they will relax, and they will have fun. Are we together? So, WHO also recommend that we should ensure we remove the workplace as we are saying above. Or if you have long shifts of work, maybe 12 hours, you need to do something about it, either 8, at least, so that somebody cannot be at work for 12 hours. When do you go back? One thing also we must know is that you have to make a flexible arrangement with the workers. Some may come to you, they have genuine problems, they want to take some time off, but their bosses will not let them. It's not good. You need to make the place flexible. That is when now you can make it enabling. If I now go home and say, when I had this problem, my boss permitted me to go. I can burn my candle to make sure I achieve this within this time. Are we together? But when you become so tight, I will never take any work home. What is left is left. If it takes 1 year on that desk, let it be there. I will never take any work as long as you know, are you getting it? And that is the mindset which is now pushing them more to the mental health part. Are we together? Another thing that we need to do, I said the managers should receive training on mental health. We need to create an awareness, because you cannot be talking on something that people are not even aware or believe that it exists.
That are reputable, that are authentic, that are compelling, that are gracious, the best, not the worst, the beautiful, not the ugly, things to praise, not things to curse.
Did you hear that? Am I the one saying it? Am I the one saying it? Please think positively and see yourself positively, because you are who God created you to be, and no circumstances, no situation can put you down if you think positively. Thank you very much.
An employee has been given a task to do, and they are not able to perform that task because of their mental health. Is it appropriate for that employee to explain to the employer that it's because of this mental health that I'm facing that I'm not able to deliver the task or not? Is it appropriate? Is it good? Because mental health has a lot of vulnerability attached to it. Thank you.
Even, and we know we have two categories of mental disorders. They call some neurosis and some psychosis. Many times in our society, we see only the psychotic part. What about the neurotic? Somebody who gets angry all the time is having a mental problem, but is not aware that he's having a problem. So how do you expect that person to tell his or her boss that I have a mental problem? It is the boss who will be able now to observe behaviors, because mental health deal with the mind and the behavior. Are we together? If you see an abnormal behavior in someone, it's a pointer to mental health. You need to look deeper and probably call the person and coach the person, counsel the person, talk the person out of whatever may be chopping the person. And there is one thing you must note. There are certain jobs that push the workers more to mental disorder. Take, for example, us working in the hospital. Not all the units have that kind of, the same kind of environment. Those working in traumatic environments, those receiving accident cases, taking accidents to the theater, people dying, you get it, they are more traumatized than those working in the maternity and in the pediatric ward. Are we getting it? And now we look at it in others. So you as an employer, you must be able to know what is normal and what is not normal. This person was not behaving like this before. This person just changed. What may have caused it? And as an employer, you look at the cause and handle it. Are we together?
Silence. They are not willing to open up. They don't want to tell you what they are experiencing. And some of them, they are even so strong up to that level that if you see them physically, you will not know that they are facing mental health issues. So, in that kind of a situation, how can we modify or influence the behavior of that kind of a person?
Trusting relationship with the person. Because if the person trusts you, the person can reveal any information to you. Are you getting? And it may not take a day. That is why issues of mental health is not like just consulting a patient as physicians do. You may spend hours, you may spend days, or months, or even years in order to diagnose the patient's problem. Are we getting it? So you create a rapport with the patient. As you create that rapport, the person now trusts you and will unveil things that may be troubling his or her inside. Are we getting? I handled a case, that child was depressed, almost at the point of committing suicide, 5 attempts. Okay? But now I just met the child crying at the corridor and I had to intervene. In our therapy, as you keep going, after some time, that child now asks me, have I been sharing this information with anybody? And I said no. Are you getting? And the moment I said no, the child breathed like this. That was trust. Okay, then the child now revealed something that I now understood to be the cause of what the child was going through. Rape at a tender age, and has never shared with anybody. Are you getting? Just the way you deal with the patient will unveil things to you. Are we together? And that is when you can now help the person. Until you identify the cause, you are just pruning the branches and the leaves.